Hey everybody, Katie here with Omi Crochet, and today we are going to be making this extra large Christmas stocking. The colors are just so beautiful. I love them all. The yarn is unfortunately discontinued, but I do mention that there is very similar yarn that you can use for it, which I'm going to need to get more so I can make another couple of them. So I don't know, I think it turned out really great. And when I was crocheting this, I did keep my tension pretty tight because I didn't want it to like stretch or, you know. So I kept the tension really tight. I did use a smaller than recommended hook. So if you are going to use a different yarn weight, then maybe think about going down a hook size than what is recommended. So anyways, let's get started on making this stocking right here. I hope you enjoy the tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. The supplies that I used for today's tutorial are a 7mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle. And the yarn that I used, it is discontinued. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's the Yarn Bee Purely Fresh, and it is, what is it? It's a bulky 5, and really you can use whatever yarn that you want. But Hobby Lobby still does carry, I believe it's the Cotton XXL yarn, which is very similar. It just doesn't have the sheen to it that this one has. This one's kind of shiny and the other one is not. But the texture and the size is it's the same. So when I was laying out the colors for the stocking, it was a little challenging at first figuring out where I wanted to place all my colors, so there was kind of a balance to it. But this is kind of what I came up with. And if you notice, in each of the hexagons on the second colorful round, that's also the outside color, and then each round is different. And then I kind of scattered and made them somewhat similar on opposite ends to give it some balance. But again, you can choose any colors that you want. If you do want it super colorful like this and kind of want to follow along with this color scheme, then this is what it's looking like. So let's get started. We're going to start out by making a magic circle, and then we are going to chain up 2. And into the magic circle, we are going to be placing a double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And this chain 2 and double crochet, that counts as our first double crochet 2 together. Now we're going to chain 1 and double crochet 2 together again. So yarn over, insert your hook and draw up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, insert your hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and you have 3 loops remaining. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and then a chain 1. And we're going to have a total of 6 double crochets 2 together. We have 2, we're going to do 4 more, all separated by a chain 1. And one last one. Double crochet 2 together, chain 1, then go ahead and pull your tail end to close up the circle. And now we are going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet that we made. and then I'm going to slip stitch again into the chain space. Chain up 1 and cut your yarn. For your next color, go ahead and tie on to any of the chain 1 spaces, and you are going to chain up 1, and that's going to count as your first single crochet. Chain up 1 again, and that's a chain, and then into that same space place a single crochet. Insert your hook, draw up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 1, into the next chain space, single crochet, chain 1, followed by another single crochet, chain 1. So each chain space will get a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. So go ahead and work that all the way around. And now that we're at the end of the round, we're going to skip over our first chain 1, and then I am going to slip stitch into the chain that is the chain space. Chain up 1, cut your yarn, and pull through. For round 3, I went ahead and tied on into a chain space that's right above a double crochet 2 together from the first round. So once you're tied on, go ahead and chain up 2 and double crochet, and this counts as your first double crochet 2 together. Chain 1, and into this chain space, a double crochet 2 together. Chain 1, and the repeat for this round is in each chain space, a double crochet 2 together, followed by a chain 1. At the end of round 3, go ahead and close with a slip stitch to the top of that double crochet. And I'm going to slip stitch again into the chain space, chain up 1, and cut your yarn. And you should have a total of 12 double crochet 2 together. Moving on to round 4, you can tie on to any of the chain spaces, and this is going to be a repeat of round 2. So we are just going to chain up 1, that counts as a single crochet, chain 1 for your chain space, and single crochet, followed by a chain 1. And each chain space gets single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. So go ahead and work that all the way around. Once you're at the end, we're going to close up just as we did on the second round, skip over that first chain 1, and slip stitch into the chain space. Then I'm going to scoot this over and slip stitch again into the chain space. Chain up 1 and cut your yarn. For round 5, go ahead and tie on right above a double crochet 2 together, and we're going to start out by chaining up 2 and a double crochet, and this all counts as a double crochet 2 together. Go ahead and scoot it over, and now we're going to chain 2, and into that same space place another double crochet 2 together. And that is what your corner is going to look like. Now in the next 3 chain spaces, go ahead and put a double crochet 2 together, and there is no chaining in between. Okay, now that I have my 3 into the next chain space, we're going to do another corner. So double crochet 2 together, followed by a chain 2, and into that same space another double crochet 2 together. And that's going to be the repeat for this round. 3 double crochet 2 together, then a corner. 3, then a corner, 3, then a corner, 3, then a corner, and we will meet up at the end. Okay, now that we're at the end of round 5, we're just going to join with a slip stitch to close and slip stitch again into the chain space. And you should have a total of 6 corners with 3 double crochet 2 togethers in between each corner. For round 6, go ahead and tie on to any of the chain spaces and chain up 1, which counts as a single crochet again into that chain space. And now we're going to chain 2 and 2 more single crochets into this chain space. So here's our corner. This is what we're going to repeat into every corner. Now after that, chain 1, and we're going to go in between and place a single crochet. Chain 1, single crochet, and we're going to do that all the way until we get to the next corner. And then 2 single crochets followed by a chain 2 and 2 single crochets. And then just go ahead and repeat all of that until you get back to the beginning. And once you're at the end, you are going to skip over the chain 1 and slip stitch into the first single crochet. And then I'm going to single crochet into the chain space, chain up 1, cut your yarn, and pull through. For round 7, go ahead and tie on to any of the corner chain 2 spaces and chain up 2, and we're going to do another corner like we did down here in round 5. So double crochet, and the chain 2 and double crochet count as a double crochet 2 together. Chain 2 and into the same space, double crochet 2 together. And we're not going to be chaining 1 in between, so just skip over and go to this chain and a double crochet 2 together. And work those all the way down until you get to the next corner. And so I worked those all the way across, and now I did another corner, and you're just going to keep doing that around, is placing double crochet 2 togethers into the chain spaces, then double crochet 2 together, chain 2, double crochet 2 together into that corner space. And then once you are at the end, we are going to close up just as we have been, slip stitch to close, and then into the corner, chain up 1, pull through. For round 8, go ahead and tie on to any of the corners, chain up 1, which counts as a single crochet again, chain 2, and then place 2 more single crochets into that same space. followed by a chain 1 and single crochet in between your double crochet 2 together. Work that all the way to the next corner, repeat the corner, and finish up the hexagon. So now that our hexagon is complete, we are going to be putting another round of white around it, but I wanted to wait to do that because we're going to connect as we go. So get 2 of your center hexagons done, and then you're also going to need 2 more full hexagons for the top of the stocking. You are going to need a total of 4 full hexagons. So go ahead and get those worked up. And then after you have that complete, we will move on to make the toe portion of the stocking, which you will need 2 of those. So I've completed rounds 1 through 4 for the toe part of the stocking, and go ahead and tie on, and you want to tie on right above the double crochet 2 together in that space. So from there, go ahead and chain up 2, and we're going to make a corner. So there's our first double crochet 2 together, chain 2, double crochet 2 together in the same space. And now we're going to do a double crochet 2 together in this space, 1 right here and 1 right here. So go ahead and work those up. Once you have those 3, go ahead and do another corner. And then we're going to do 3 more here, here, and here, and then another corner. Okay, so now we have 3 corners worked up. And again, we're going to do 3 double crochets 2 together. After you do those 3, we're going to place 2 double crochet 2 togethers into this space, but we're not going to separate them with a chain 2. So go ahead and do 1, and then another into that same chain space. So we're just doing an increase as we go around the toe part of the stocking. So we have our 3 corners, and then our 3 double crochet 2 together, and then an increase. And then we're going to repeat this part 2 more times. So 3, and then 2, 3, and then 2, and then we'll be back at the beginning. Now that we're back at the beginning, go ahead and close with a slip stitch, and then slip stitch again into the chain space, chain up 1, cut your yarn, and pull it through. So this is what your work should be looking like. Here's the toe part, and then we are going to tie on with our next color into this center corner right here. Now that you're tied on, go ahead and chain up 1, and that counts as your first single crochet. Single crochet again into the chain space, followed by a chain 2. And then push it over if you need to, and then 2 more single crochets into this chain space. Chain 1, and in between the stitches, a single crochet, and work that all the way to the corner. And now we're back to a corner, 2 single crochets, followed by a chain 2, 2 single crochets. And now chain 1, single crochet in between, chain 1, single crochet in between, and do that all the way until you get to your increase. Once you're at your increase, place a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then chain 1, single crochet until your next increase, and then once you get there, just repeat what we did here. And then you're going to repeat that one more time until you get to the increase, and then again, and you'll be back at the corner and do the same thing that we did here and here. Now that you're at the end, skip over that chain 1 and slip stitch into the first single crochet, slip stitch again into the chain space, chain up 1, and cut your yarn. And then for the next color, I'm going to be tying on to this space right here. Once you're tied on, chain up 2 and double crochet, and that counts as your first double crochet 2 together, followed by a chain 2, and then another double crochet 2 together into the corner space. So now in each of the chain spaces, we're going to be placing a double crochet 2 together, and then once you reach the corner, go ahead and do what we have been doing for those corners. Double crochet 2 together, chain 2, double crochet 2 together, all in that same chain space. Okay, we have our second corner done. We're going to repeat this until we reach this corner, and we will meet up to go around. So we have the 3 corners worked up, and then I worked up 5 double crochet 2 togethers along the side, and this is the round part now, and here I am at the increase. So we have 5 and then an increase, and then you will just repeat that 2 more times. 5 increase, 5 increase, all the way around. And now that we're at the end, just join with a slip stitch and slip stitch again into the chain space. Chain up 1 and cut your yarn. And then for the next round, we're just going to tie on to this middle space with the new color. Once you're tied on, go ahead and chain up 1, which counts as your first single crochet, and single crochet again, followed by a chain 2 and 2 single crochets into that same space, followed by a chain 1 and single crochet in between the double crochet 2 togethers. And then just keep working that until you reach the next corner and repeat what we did for the corner space. Now that we're working around the toe part of the stocking, once you get to the increase, we're just going to be placing 1 single crochet in between the stitches, followed by a chain 1, and then moving over to the next space. So there's no increases around the toe for this round. Now that we're back to the corner, go ahead and place 2 single crochets, followed by a chain 2 and 2 single crochets. And then just work along the side as we have been doing. Chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and then just close with a slip stitch to end this round. And then the toe portion is complete. So now we're going to be working on the heel part of the stocking, and we're only going to need 1 of these. And rounds 1 through 3 are the same as the toe and the hexagon, so go ahead and work those up, and then we will move on to do rounds 4 through 8. So I have rounds 1 through 3 complete, and for the stocking that I'm making for this video with the other squares, this is the color combination that I'm following if you're following along with similar colors. This is just going to be another stocking, so the colors are going to be different. But we're going to just tie on to any of the chain spaces and then go ahead and chain up 2, and that counts as your first single crochet and chain 1. And into the same chain space, go ahead and place another single crochet, followed by a chain 1. And we're going to do the same thing into the next chain space, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and now into this third space we're just going to do 1 single crochet followed by a chain 1. And that's going to be the pattern. It's going to be 2 2 1 2 2 1 all the way around. You should have a total of 20 single crochets. For round 5, you want to locate where you placed only 1 single crochet, and you want to tie on to the right side of that into that chain space, so right here. And from there, you're going to go ahead and chain up 2 and double crochet, which counts as a double crochet 2 together. From here, we're going to chain 1 into the same space. We're going to start the beginning of a double crochet 2 together, and now we're going to move over to the next chain space to finish off the double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So we have a double crochet 2 together, chain 1, double crochet 2 together, separated by this single crochet, chain 1, and into this same space a double crochet 2 together. And now into the next 3 chain spaces, go ahead and place a double crochet 2 together, and we are not putting a chain in between those. Into the next chain space, we're going to repeat what we did here, and that is a double crochet 2 together, followed by a chain 1, and the first part of the double crochet 2 together will go into this space, and we're going to finish it in this space. Chain 1, and into this same space a double crochet 2 together. And then go ahead and finish off the round. Do 3 more with no chaining in between, and then another corner space. 3 more, another corner space, 3 more. For round 6, go ahead and find where you split your double crochet 2 together with that single crochet in the middle, and you're going to tie on to the chain space to the right of that. From there, go ahead and chain up 1, which counts as a single crochet, and then another single crochet into that same space, followed by a chain 1. 2 single crochets into the next chain space, chain 1, and in between place a single crochet followed by a chain 1, and work that all the way down until you get to your other corner space. And here we are. Place 2 single crochets, followed by a chain 1, 2 single crochets into the next space, chain 1, and then you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 more single crochet chain 1s until you get to the next corner space, and just repeat that all the way around. And you should have 4 of these corner spaces with 4 single crochet chain 1s in between. For round 7, I tied onto the chain space in between the set of 2 single crochets, our corner space. And now we are going to chain up 2, double crochet, which counts as a double crochet 2 together, chain 2, and into that same space, a double crochet 2 together. And now we have our first corner complete, and without chaining in between, we are going to do 5 double crochet 2 together, and that should put us right at the other corner. So go ahead and get 5 of those worked up. After you have your 5, go ahead and do another corner just like we did here. Double crochet 2 together, chain 2, double crochet 2 together. And then you are just going to repeat that pattern all the way around, and you should have a total of 5 double crochets 2 together in between each corner. So for round 8, tie onto a corner space, chain up 1, single crochet, chain 2, and 2 single crochets. Chain 1, single crochet in between, chain 1, single crochet all the way until you get to the next corner, and then repeat what we did right here. And that is what your work should be looking like. This is the heel part of the stocking. Again, you only need 1 of these. And now we are going to move on to connect our stocking. So now that we have all of our pieces made up for the stocking, we're going to go ahead and connect them, and I'm starting from the top down. And I went ahead and just tied onto a corner space, and what we're going to do is chain up 1 single crochet, and instead of chaining 2 like we have been doing, we're just going to chain 1 into this corner, and then go ahead and put 2 more single crochets. Chain 1, single crochet into the chain space, chain 1, and keep working that all the way down until you get to the next corner. And the corner will just be a repeat of here. We're going to do 2 single crochets, chain 1, 2 single crochets, and then work this along each side. For the second piece of the top, again, tie on into a chain space, and we are going to do what we did for the corner of the last one. Chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, 2 more single crochets. And then chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, all the way until you get to the next corner. Okay, so once you've worked down along the side, in the corner, go ahead and place 2 single crochets, And then get the other top piece, and you want to find a corner there. Take your hook out and through the top, put your hook through, pick your yarn back up, pull through, and chain 1, and then 2 more single crochets into this corner. Again, take your hook out, find the next chain space, pull through, chain up 1, and single crochet into the next chain space. And you're just going to be doing this all along this side until you reach the other corner. And now that we're at the corner, go ahead and place 2 single crochets. Take your hook out, go through the top of the corner on your other piece, pick up your yarn, pull through, chain 1, and 2 single crochets back into the corner space. And now we have that connected right here. We are just going to be working along this side and this side. Once you get to this corner over here, we will meet back up because we're going to need to connect along this side. So now that I'm at the corner, I went ahead and kind of just folded everything in half. It's going to make it a little easier to get it connected. So place your 2 single crochets. Again, take your hook out, find that corner, go through the top, pick up your yarn, pull through, and chain up 1 and 2 single crochets back into the corner space. Take out your hook, go through the top, maybe pick up your yarn, pull through, chain 1, single crochet, just as we did along this side. Work that all the way to the corner, and then work up this way and connect with a slip stitch. Okay, now that we have our top 2 pieces connected, I'm gonna go ahead and connect the middle part, and I'm just gonna tie on right here. Remember, there's only a chain 1 in your corner space, and then just work up to this corner, do your 2 single crochets, take your hook out, and you're going to go through this corner space, and we will meet up right when we get to the middle right here, and I'll show you how I connect right there. Okay, so I went ahead and got this side connected, and now here we are where 3 of them join. I already did my 2 single crochets into the corner space. So now just go ahead and take your hook out, and I'm going to go down through here, and then just pick up your yarn and pull it through, chain up 1, and then 2 single crochets back into the corner space. And then you're just going to go ahead and connect down this side like we did here and here. And now we're back to this corner. 2 single crochets. Join to this corner. Where am I at? Right here. Just tuck any loose ends to the inside as well. Pull through and chain up 1, and now we are just gonna continue working around until we get back to the beginning and just a chain 1 in that corner space. Okay, we have 3 of our pieces connected. Get the other center piece, and I'm going to connect down here. Go ahead and work up this side. After you place your 2 single crochets, connect the corners, connect working up this side, and then here we have those 2 squares go in through here to connect that point. And then you're going to do the same for the center point and this point. Connect down this side and then just finish off this side and close. Okay, so I now have 4 pieces connected, and if you haven't already, it would probably be a good idea to go ahead and flip this inside out and get all these loose ends dealt with, and then connecting the heel and the toe, it's basically going to be the same way we have been doing it. Okay, so I have all but the heel attached, and now what you're going to do for this is just start out in any one of the corners and do your 2 single crochets, and then just go ahead through this middle section and start working all the way around and get the heel part attached. And then we will be done connecting it all. And now that you're at the end, go ahead and skip over that chain 1, find your first single crochet, and then just go ahead and slip stitch into there to close everything up. Chain up 1, cut your yarn, and any loose ends that you have, go ahead and get those sewn in. Now the last thing we're gonna do is put a row of our single crochet chain 1s around the top and put our little loop on here so it can get hung. So I'm going to put my loop that we're going to hang the stocking from onto this side, and I'm going to tie on to the second single crochet in the corner. So here's our first, there's the second. Go ahead and get your yarn tied on. From here, I'm gonna go ahead and chain up 20. If you want to make your loop bigger or smaller, just chain as many as you need. After you have your chain made up, go ahead and slip stitch into the first single crochet on this side. And then I'm going to slip stitch again into the next single crochet, and then again into the chain space, chain up 1, and that's going to count as a single crochet, chain again, and then we're going to start our single crochet chain 1 until we get to this space right here. So now we put our single crochet chain 1 into our last chain space, and now we're going to do a single crochet 3 together, and we're going to skip over this first single crochet, insert your hook into the next, draw up a loop, and then we're going to go in between, insert your hook and draw up a loop. And now we're to this corner. We're gonna insert our hook into this first single crochet, draw up a loop, and now you have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops. Chain 1, skip over this right here, and work up to the next corner. Single crochet, chain 1. And now we're at this corner, and we are just going to do single crochet, single crochet, chain 1, and 2 more single crochets. Chain 1, single crochet into the chain space. And then work down this side, and we are going to single crochet 3 together when we get here, and then go up this side with your single crochet, chain 1, and then we'll meet up right before we get here. We placed our last single crochet, chain 1 into the last chain space, and then I am going to slip stitch into the first single crochet right here where we started our chain. And now that we're at the chain, I'm going to slip stitch into the first chain and chain 1. I'm going to skip the next stitch, slip stitch into the next chain. Chain 1, skip, slip stitch, and just do this all around your chain just to make it a little thicker and more sturdy. And now I'm coming up to the end, skip over this one, slip stitch, and then into the same space we're going to slip stitch that we closed up this loop right here. Slip stitch again. Oh, chain 1 and then slip stitch. And then go ahead and chain up 1, and now just get these ends sewn in. Okay, and now we are done making our Christmas stocking. I really love how it turned out. I love all of the colors and that it is extra big. It does measure to be 27 inches from the top up here to the bottom of the toe, 14 inches from heel to toe, and 9 inches across right here. So I really hope that you enjoyed the tutorial, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.